Welcome back to another episode of Bodybuilding and Business.
Told you.
I'm your host,
Co-host,
Pat, sitting alongside my co-host, Greg. And today we have a special guest, our first ever guest, Paul. Paul, why don't you go ahead and tell us about yourself?
I promise he doesn't make the entire episode awkward, but
I just make the intros really awkward. So, first time here, first time guest. Paul, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Paul.
Nice. That's it?
that's it.
You know what? Tell us about yourself and tell us why you think we invited you on.
I have no idea why you invited me on.
See, I didn't think you wanted to hear anything I had to say.
We invited Paul on because he was the only one available today. So, little bit of a different show because we're going to have a guest today. So we're going to go over a couple different things. There is a reason why we have Paul on today. I think the easiest way to kind of intro into why Paul's here today is to talk about the relationship that the two of you guys have had over the years and what that's grown into and what that looks like now.
Yeah.
Gregory.
Oh, I thought he was going to go.
I mean, Paul, you can go too, actually.
I met Paul when
He was 16. I was 20.
You know what's fucked up?
I don't know, something like that.
I wasn't even 16.
He wasn't 16.
I was 14.
I was probably 18.
So doing the math, dude, 20 years ago, I met Paul. So Paul...
You are both old.
So my dad owned a pizzeria, as most people know, and Paul was good friends with an owner of a nutrition store that was in the same strip center as my dad's pizzeria. So I would go in there all the time.
I worked there, actually.
Yeah, he worked there.
I worked there
and
a little bit.
Him and all of his friends pretty much worked there, and they would hang out there all the time. So I would go in there every single day, whether it was on a break or before work or after the gym. And I just wanted to be like all these big guys in there. So I would go in and I would just ask a million questions. And through time, I just became friends with Paul. He got me introduced to bodybuilding forums. And he probably just got annoyed with all my questions. So he was probably like, here, go here and read this shit, you know? So he's one of the ones that really actually got me introduced to fitness and bodybuilding and stuff like that.
Was Paul one of the big guys?
I was.
He was one of the big guys.
Go closer, just so we can hear you a little more. Tell the people.
Pat.
Yeah, he was one of the big guys.
Good.
I was like, I will never be that tall, but I hope I'm that big, you know? And honestly, from then, I mean, we've been together now, friends, almost 20 years. We've had multiple business together. We both have that very similar, like, entrepreneur, hustler mindset. So we've always clicked and just kind of got along in that sense, you know? But yeah, it's been a long time.
20 years is a long time.
Yeah, it was big back then, Pat.
Really big?
Really big.
Yeah.
What happened?
A lot.
Well,
So
20 years.
I don't know if Paul wanted to jump into this, but for those who know who Paul is, you probably know.
Or follow us and might have seen.
Yeah. Paul is actually 14 days away from a kidney transplant. So first and foremost, congrats.
Yeah.
Long time coming.
It's been a long time fucking coming. So Paul is still a big dude. Most people would see him in the streets or at a store and be like, wow, like that guy looks like he plays for the NFL, right? But
50 pounds later.
for Paul, he does not feel like a big guy anymore because he's 50 pounds lighter. He's on a protein restricted diet at this point. He's obviously, as you heard, he's waiting for a kidney transplant. So what stage kidney failure are you in?
5.
So he's in stage 5 kidney failure. You're restricted to how many grams of protein a day? 60. So for someone who was probably eating 400 at one point, It's a big difference. His appetite's gone. His drive is gone to train. He comes to the gym every day, does a little bit of weight training, but majority of what you do at this point is cardio, you know, just to feel good, you know. I guess we don't have to go right into kidney failure, but you said that you weren't big anymore. So I figured I would just kind of emphasize on why.
Well, yeah, I'm not big.
That's okay. We're going to get you back big soon. You know what's going to help you get big soon is your business.
Yes, correct.
So for those of
Get
you
a
that
little closer to that mic, dude.
Sorry.
There you go.
see, it wasn't just me. I wasn't being a dick. You got to get closer.
Well, I don't want the episode to come out and it just be me and Pat talking,
Paul
and
whispering.
every now and then you hear Paul's voice come out.
I got this shady microphone that doesn't.
Yeah,
Listen,
sorry.
dude, we're not used to guests.
You know?
We didn't get him
First
a
of
boom
all, I got the shady chair. You got the shady microphone. When you're in
The
someone
reason
else's
why
house,
we
this is
didn't
what
get you a
get.
stand like this is we didn't know if with your big size, right? Even though you're downsized, if we were going to fit in this room like this with the camera. So we thought that possibly we were going to have to do it on the couch and we'd all be holding the microphones anyways.
Yeah.
Which is why you didn't
good.
get a cool stand,
I'll hold
dude.
it anyway.
All right, whatever.
Just hold it and get up on that mic.
That's right.
So what I meant by your own business that will be able to help you out after you get this kidney, why don't you tell us about the new venture you're currently...
So we're currently in the process of opening a med spa.
Hell yeah.
HRT, TRT,
Botox,
IV therapy, weight loss, and we're going to get the stem cells and exosomes in the future.
Awesome.
So, it's going. Started construction, and
where are you doing this?
Bloomingdale.
Okay.
We're hoping to open beginning of June. So that's our we're shooting for June 1st.
And for those that don't fully understand what a wellness clinic is, and I'm sure most of our viewers might hear.
That's why I say med spa, because people don't understand, like when you say wellness clinic, what's a wellness clinic?
Yeah.
When they might hear TRT and think that they know that, oh, that's testosterone replacement, or HRT and hormone replacement therapy.
Yeah.
Explain a little bit how you can run a legitimate business and have a med spa that does these things, how you guys have a doctor that's working with you, and how this is coming from a compound pharmacy. Just a little bit of an explanation. You don't have to go too much in depth.
We have a doctor on staff who holds the medical license, and then our nurse practitioner does all the they do all the consultations, and then the RNs do all the other stuff, and IVs, blood, all that good stuff. So we'll have a girl that does straight injectors, Botox, fillers, all that stuff. Then we'll have IV therapies. There's probably...
Which is huge right now.
Yeah, it's blowing up. There's probably 12 or 13 different kinds you can do.
And for those who don't know IV therapies, he's talking like there's going to be energy packs, right? Where
Hydration
you're doing
pack,
like
immunity
B12,
pack.
stuff like that,
Glutathione, NAD+, there's all kinds of stuff.
There's so many things you can
Myers
do right
cocktail,
now.
which is a really, really popular one. It's got like a whole bunch of different vitamins in it. The doctor is our medical director. He'll be there 2 days a week. He's an actual varicose vein doctor. So he's going to be doing veins there twice a week.
Oh, you're going to be doing that too?
Yeah, he's going to be doing that.
Dude, I have clients for you already.
Yeah. So,
Me.
and
He's talking about me.
I wasn't going to call you out, but I was hoping you got it.
and everything's blood work. So I'm big on blood work now, because if I would have had blood work done, I wouldn't be in this situation.
For sure.
That's where I go. Everybody should have blood work done. Yeah. And we're going to be big on
If
blood
you're
work.
my client and you are listening, if you are not going to Vita Health Spa, right? Health Spa, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And getting your blood work done in several months from now, you're fucked. You're not my client anymore. Go find a coach who doesn't give a fuck about you.
It's all about that.
End up hurting yourself, because it's too accessible these days for people to be blowing it off.
And it's cheap.
It's not expensive.
And we're going to take insurance.
Okay.
So, which a lot of people's insurance will cover the blood work.
Yeah.
They got to pay their deductible, $20, $30, whatever it is.
For sure.
It's, you're crazy not to get it done.
Yeah.
Because it can catch something.
I agree.
And you're a prime example of what it could catch if you would have had this done.
I would have caught it
when you were younger, and
I never caught it.
You would have never made it to hopefully stage 5 and not had to get a new kidney. And
COVID didn't help me. So,
Yeah.
right. But
So you were what, stage 2 or 3 pre-COVID?
2, yeah. And then COVID got me good.
And
Twice.
whether the nonchalant explanation of what this center is going to do might make people not understand the severity of it. Like, this is going to be a big gig. This isn't just going to be some little hole in the wall kind of thing. There's a lot of planning that's gone into this. You guys had to meet with several doctors before finding the one that you thought was going to be a good fit for you guys. You guys had to look out for different investors in order to pull the money to get this going. If I want to kind of talk about some of your other businesses that led you to a position to be able to do this, because you didn't just wake up one day at 40 years old and just decide like, hey, I've been working at the supplement store that you guys met at since you were
And now I'm going to open
20
a
years
med
old,
spa.
and now I'm going to open a med spa.
I probably had 20 LLCs.
Yeah.
All right.
When I said Paul and me are very like-minded, he is an entrepreneur and hustler, and he will take any risk whatsoever to start a business if he thinks it's a good idea, even if he knows it's going to be a short run. If he sees a way to optimize on something in the market and what it's doing right now, he's going to do it. Right. You know, I mean,
I think
what are some of the businesses you've had? Like, how did it start? Like, when did you get into, what was your first business you owned?
Great White Peptides.
There you go.
Yeah. So that was
The iconic Great White Peptide.
That was the gray area thing. And then I went from that to we had Get Fit clothing.
Yeah.
Twisted Genetics
Yeah,
supplement
that was
line.
us. We had
say,
Belly Tea.
Fit
we
Belly
had
Tea, Fit
Get
for
Fit
Life
Clothing,
supplements.
Fit for Life, Twisted Genetics.
I had Get Funky, which
Yeah.
was all that stuff. Then I had a car wash. I sold that, bought a bar. 2 worst things you could ever do. So don't open a bar and don't buy a car wash.
Everybody write that down.
Write that down because that's the
Easy,
But you know what?
easy.
It's a good learning thing because I always wanted to have a bar. I'm like, oh, it'd be awesome to have a bar. And the first 2 weeks was awesome, right?
Yeah.
But then after that, you're like, what did I bought
The
a job.
idea of it's fun. It's just like a restaurant, right? The idea of it's fun and realizing how hard it is.
Great to be an
have
investor in
people-
one,
yes.
but not to own it and actually go run it.
No, dude. You have to be ready for the nightlife.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to deal with a bunch of bullshit. No one wants to work those hours, so keeping employees is hard.
Everybody's
you know?
stealing from you.
Yeah, a lot of cash.
Partners
so
don't
people are
want to
stealing.
work. We put a lot of money into
Everyone's a thief.
Everybody's a thief. But they are. And we bought a bar not knowing what we were doing.
Yeah,
Literally no idea. Had a car wash, which was fine. I worked at a car wash. I was a manager, so I bought a car wash. It's easy, right? But
when I first met him, he was working at the supplement store and he was managing a car wash.
so go back to buying a bar. Yeah, it was going to be great. You know, we bought this Irish pub, shut down, which was the worst thing you could do.
The idea of the bar though was awesome. It was
And you're like,
prohibition,
we're
pub
gonna-
and grill.
We're gonna have all hot chicks. You're gonna be working with hot chicks. It's gonna be
Yeah.
awesome. We're gonna be
Titties.
It's great, right? First week was awesome. Second week was great. Then I'm like, man, we put a lot of money in this place. We remodeled the whole thing.
Dude, he's underplaying it, dude.
It
You
was
walked
badass.
in.
It had the whole.
It looked like a 1920s like bootleg era. Like there was like
We had a wall that was all the old Italian mafia.
like Al Capone,
Al
like
Capone was
bootlegging
on there.
theme. Like it was newspaper articles. Like, dude, it was dope, man.
it was cool.
It was just it wasn't worth holding on to because the amount of headache. He had a very successful business going on at the same time.
Right.
He had other businesses going on, and seeing correct me if I'm wrong, but just seeing the demand that you had to be there all the time and you couldn't focus on all the other shit that was really paying your bills.
It's just not a good environment.
No.
It's
And even
you're
if
drinking. You're there till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It's
Even if
not.
it-
Yo, but his grand opening was badass.
We had a lot of fun at the grand opening.
His grand opening, he got fucking annihilated, right? I was behind his bar feeding him shots.
No, I couldn't drive.
Dude,
Greg
he
had to
couldn't
drive
drive.
a
It was
Lamborghini
pouring rain, and he's like, yo, are you good to drive? I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. I know there's a Lamborghini sitting outside. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm good to drive.
Absolutely, I am.
He's
I haven't had one
"All
drink tonight."
dude, you got to drive my car home. I'm like, whoa. He's like, no problem,
I don't
dude.
even remember how I got home, but we had a good time.
That was me. I drove you home.
Yeah.
It was fun. But yeah, so you had the bar. We had the supplement companies, which honestly,
Yeah, let's not skip over those. That's
Dude,
a business that
so-
the two of you own together and
Yeah.
kind of just.
we started a company, Twisted Genetics, which we started with just fat burners and pre-workouts.
We were
Led to-
rocking, too.
Led to pro hormones. Dude, we were,
home of the pre-workout that lasts you 6 months.
dude,
If people
that
don't, people
pre-workout
people
tub,
don't remember.
it
I-
was so strong. Everybody half dosed it.
I overdosed on it.
yeah.
I
Dude,
When
did we
I-
ever tell you about how we even came out with the formula?
no, I just know that
When I overdosed on all the
first,
samples?
When I first met you was right when Twisted Genetics was kind of coming.
We did some weird
to an
flavors
end.
like root beer.
Yeah.
We had root beer flavored. It was gross, but
People liked it,
People
though.
liked it.
Go back to how the whole thing started. Let's go back to where.
Okay, so before we jump into Twisted Genetics, we started a clothing company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Paul was doing Great White. It was very successful.
I bought
Actually,
about
that's even a-
$80,000 in t-shirts.
That's even a better idea. That's
we
even a,
fucked up more than listen, don't ever start a clothing company ever. The
There's a
worst
lot
thing
of
you can
do's
start.
and don'ts in this,
Listen,
in this
it's all
podcast.
listen, but in the end, it's all learning.
100%.
You got to fail to move on.
bingo overlay.
Failed a lot.
Over. What am I trying to say?
I also had a car dealership.
Yeah.
I sold cars.
Oh,
I had
fuck, dude, I
from
forgot
Sunny.
about
I
that.
bought a dealer license through Sunny.
Yeah.
And sold cars with Dave for a while.
I remember that. Yeah.
Big wholesale.
Big takeaway of the entire episode today will be you have to just get over the fear of failing. Otherwise,
can't
you're
be
not going
afraid to fail.
You're not going to
100%.
find the one thing that's successful. We've had that question on the podcast already about starting a business, and the biggest thing we talked about was getting over the fear.
Yeah.
And Paul's a living example of
I had no fear. I'll start anything.
not having fear.
He'll take chance.
Now that we said that, let's slow things down a little bit. We'll talk about Great White Peptides and how Great White Peptides led into you guys starting Get Fit, because obviously
How did Great White start?
You just mentioned that you started with 80,000 t-shirts. Most people sitting at home,
$80,000.
$80,000.
most people sitting at home don't have
And
80.
that's another funny story because we were supposed to start with 25.
Okay, so let's start there because most people sitting at home
Great
that might
White with
think
$6,000. Okay, and it was like a fluke that it was going to work.
What led you to starting Great White? Obviously, you were big into bodybuilding. You were on all the forums. You met a lot of people there. What made you say, "Hey, listen,
juice head.
I want to start peptide company"?
Yeah, I knew somebody that was doing it, and I'm like, oh, this can't be hard. The guy I knew was a moron, complete moron.
If we're thinking of the same guy, he was a moron.
Ron, yeah. Anyway, I'll say his name. I don't care. I won't say last name, but I'll say first names.
no one knows who that is. So
Nobody knows who he is. Anyway,
They probably do. That's the funny part.
anyway, moron, and I'll say it again. So anyway, I just jumped into it and got going, right? And it didn't take off. Listen, I didn't make any money for 2 years. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Like I worked for free. And then
So did I.
I learned about SEO, and that just blew us up.
For those of you who
engine
don't know, that's
optimization,
search engine optimization.
which is key to any online business.
100%.
And
before we go
If
even
you're in
further,
the e-commerce, learn SEO.
before we go even further on that, go ahead and touch on peptides, just a brief summary. So that if someone's listening and they're hearing Great White Peptides and going, oh, cool, he made no money for 2 years, but I still don't even know what he's selling.
So I think the majority of our listeners will know what a peptide is, just because they follow
mainstream now.
bodybuilding.
Joe Rogan's talking about it now.
And it's so because all these med spas now are actually seeing the clinical use for them. It's definitely such a growing thing now.
Right.
I think a couple years ago, people still didn't know what peptides are, but peptides are actually just they're
Amino acid
to put it
sequences.
simple. Yes, they're breakdowns of different amino acids, which once in the body and they hit the system, right? They're going to break down to other things.
They're
right?
not
So
considered a drug. They're actually
they're mimicking. They're different. They're taking different chemical breakdowns of different amino acids, and they're basically breaking down into other things in your system. So, like for instance, IGF-1LR3, right? So it's not your regular IGF, which is your growth hormone levels, things like that, right? Like, but it's going to pulse and stimulate
your body to
your body to produce more IGF-1 levels, but it's not actually IGF.
Correct.
Right? It's a breakdown of IGF that is now telling your body to produce more.
Yeah.
Correct. And Greg's just giving an example of one specific one. There are multiple different peptides that were being sold
Even
under Greg.
HGH is a peptide technically.
Great White
191 amino acid structure.
So
It's
HCG is
191,
I just wanted to have that explained so
Yeah.
they understand. And then also too, that's why they both kind of mentioned it was a gray area when you started.
Yeah.
That's why
It's a
not
breakdown of different amino acids that, in conjunction to other peptides,
It basically tells your
can-
cells of your body to do something. It's not like the drug. The drug's replacing it.
It's sending the
It
pulse
sends a
to your
signal
body. Yes,
to create
more of
testosterone,
certain things that your body's already producing.
Correct.
Right.
Like- Cool.
So you have your sermorelin, which is going to mimic the function of growth hormone, but you're not actually putting growth hormone in your body. Right. It's now just telling your body to function as if it needs more production.
Correct.
Right.
And it's going to force it to produce more, and then you're getting
Correct.
more out of it on its own. So just so that everyone
Yeah. So long story
that.
short, 2 years was like ready to give up, and then it just kind of took off, and then it really took off.
Because of SEO.
SEO and a couple other things in marketing, and it just our name was out. We were like one of the first, probably top back then, like first 5 or 6 like big companies.
He's underplaying it. He was one of the top 5 biggest peptide companies that were
we were
out
big.
there.
We were doing like $500,000 a month in sales. So
Before-
It was insane.
Before Great White, had a need for SEOs in any of your other businesses, or was this
no,
the
that was
first
the
one
first
you really
one that
had
I
to?
actually did SEO in.
Okay, and that was the other ones marketing wise. Was there anything big you had to do for the other businesses, or was this the first business you saw a little less success and kind of had to push in order to get it?
Yeah, that was the first real business I had.
Yeah.
you know?
Okay.
And then it just from there it went.
I think that he saw the opportunity because of SEO coding.
Right.
He saw how once you know how to do it properly, how easy it was to actually grow a company through the internet, social media, what have you, right? That's my one, what have you.
Yep, you got it.
So I think that at that point he was like, well, if I can do that with this business,
Right.
why can't I do it with all these other ideas that I have, And for some it worked great, and that's what
It just takes time. SEO is a time thing, and there's no like guarantee that you'll have first rank paging. I mean,
For sure.
it depends on the business you're into. You got a lot of competition. It's going to take a long time. Supplements is impossible. You'll take forever to get to the first page just because
there's so many companies that are
doing
putting
keywords.
$1 million a month into
doing-
SEO coding.
exactly.
So to compete with those big people, like for instance, an Optimum Nutrition, right, who's been around for decades,
Right.
You need to have big money into SEO.
So we'll jump right to the med spa, right? So it's going to be huge for SEO because you can do local SEO. So it's 25-mile range, right? There's not a lot of med spas.
There's not a lot of med spas in that area.
So we're going to hammer SEO, Facebook ads, Google ads. We're going to do it all.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's it'll be good business.
And that's what, so not to backtrack again, but from Great White Peptides, he was doing so good at that point then where he was like, okay, well, I'm only going to the office several hours a day to pack orders at this point because it's e-commerce.
It's running on its own.
It's running on its own. You get
on its
orders, you pack them, you ship them, it's done.
Right.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do, right? So you're not manufacturing yourself. You have, compound pharmacies that are doing that for you, and then he's getting his product, he's labeling it, shipping it, gone, right? So he called me one day. I remember this specifically. I was working out at Bally Total Fitness on my break, right? I was
BTF.
obviously a manager there, right? BTF. And he called me. He's like, yo, dude. He's like, I need something else. He's like, I know you've always had all these ideas. You wanted to start your own business. You're sick of being at Bally. He's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I always thought about doing like a clothing company. And he's like, perfect, let's do it. And I was like, you serious? He's like, yeah. So we met up the next day. He came to my dad's pizzeria. We talked, and he was like, all right, this is the deal. Like, you're going to market it. You're going to front it, or you're going to pack the orders, whatever. I'm going to throw up the money. Like, let's do a fitness clothing line. And at that point, I wish we did it a little differently, but at that point, there was nobody else really doing it. There was a couple other big brands. This is like the first year that Instagram's like going, right?
Just for a timeline for everybody.
For sure.
Because at this point of working out, I was not.
This is like 2013, 2012.
I didn't know either of
2012.
you yet, but I was still in the gym at this point, and there weren't gym clothing companies.
Yeah.
No, we
There
had
was,
like 3 or 4 competitors that didn't like us.
for the
And
most
they hated
part,
Greg.
it was just people wore athletic wear like Nike, Adidas,
For sure.
Reebok. People
That's it.
weren't wearing gym clothes in the gym, and you guys started.
Yeah. So we got together. We talked about a budget to start with, which was 25 grand. And we talked about some different designs, colors, girls' clothes, guys' clothes, sizes, whatever. And, we found somebody to manufacture it, whatever. And the guy had to cancel the one day. He was like, hey, like, I'm not going to be able to make it. I got X and X going on, whatever. Me and Paul were supposed to go to the city and meet him that day. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So then Paul called me the next day. He's like, yo, dude, he hit me up like he wants us to come down today. And I was like, dude, I got off the gym, and I've explained in other episodes, I used to manage the gym, and then after the gym, I would go to the pizzeria until close. And I was like, dude, like, my dad's not going to be there. And like, I can't just leave. Like,
Right.
Paul's like, well, we already know what we're going to order. I'm going to go down there anyways. Well, Paul got real excited, right? So our 25 grand initial start turned into $80,000 initial start. So we got so much inventory off the bat, but it was great, right? And then because of Great White and stuff like that, Paul was able to take the risk, and he was like, listen, man, like, I thought we were going to start small. We're going to start with some local bodybuilding shows and stuff like that. And Paul's like, no. Like, that's it. Like, I think our first expo was LA Fit Expo. You know what I mean? And dude, people loved our shit, dude. We sold 7 grand our first day, 11 grand the next day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Granted, that's not all profit, right? Obviously, there's the cost of the clothes, the cost of travel, the cost of your booth, which is $2,500 a booth.
I spent a lot of money on travel.
Was $2,500 a booth. Now I can only imagine.
It's probably
what a
more.
booth
Yeah, you're
would
talking
cost.
fucking
Shipping.
15 years ago.
We
10
learned our
years
lesson
ago.
on shipping because we tried to take it on the plane in different suitcases.
Dude, we were paying
Paid like 12 suitcases the one time.
dude, all over the 40
To
pound
LA.
limit, right? Or 48, whatever it is.
It was terrible.
You've never been on a plane.
Never been on a plane.
So there's a weight limit.
I could have told. No, I'm telling you right now. I've never been on a plane. I could have told you that was a bad idea.
It was a horrible
and
idea.
you shouldn't have done
right?
that.
We were like, oh, fuck it. We'll throw us all in
It's
suitcases.
some t-shirts. It
you
can't
know?
weigh
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah.
Nope. We learned the hard way, right? But anyway, so we made a lot of mistakes, but it was a learning process, right?
I had a lot of fun.
dude,
Shows were great.
We would go to the shows.
Paul would disappear.
Paul would disappear, right? he would find friends and he would get the fuck out of there, right? And I'd be working this booth by myself.
Very personable. We call him personable Paul.
I found a lot of friends at these shows.
Yes, a lot of friends, right? And hour in, Paul'd be gone, right? One time we did the Arnold, right? And it was a first night and it was a great night. I don't remember how much we did.
Oh, it was earlier back then.
Yeah.
It used to be earlier in the year.
It was February and Greg got me my first shot of
Jameson.
So
we did so fucking good that first day of the show. I don't remember. It was like our highest expo, like first day of sales, right? So like we got fucking annihilated. We're like, all right, dude, we're going out. It's your birthday. We fucking killed it today. Like we could spend a little bit.
I think we went to dinner
money,
with like 20 people.
Dude, we went to probably, if I had to guess,
I don't remember, but I spent
a $10,000 dinner. Dude, we went to like the nicest steakhouse there. There was fucking sushi everywhere, drinks everywhere, steaks everywhere.
You guys balled out so hard.
Wine coming.
You went to a steakhouse and got sushi somehow. That's good.
Whatever. Anyways,
that's amazing
we
that
did
you
a lot
guys
of dinners.
you
That
guys
might be running
you
together.
guys somehow went to a
Regardless.
steakhouse and got sushi. So you guys were balling.
with Matt Porter and all that.
Yeah, we were with Matt Porter, and it was a blast. Regardless, we went out after dinner. And we went to some bar and I was just feeding Paul shots. And like, I'm like, dude, if I can handle this Jameson, this big motherfucker can handle the Jameson, right?
Man.
He couldn't handle the Jameson.
I
right?
was sick as shit
Dude,
that night.
He walked into the expo the second day and I'm already there. He came in, booth was already set up. All the clothes were out. Like we were ready to go. And he walked in and he's just like looking at me like this. And I was like, dude, I'm like, go home. Like, get the fuck
I turned around and I got a piece of pizza and left.
He literally went like this, turned around, walked out, said, let me know if you need anything.
9:30 in the morning.
Left.
Paul grabs a pizza,
Dude,
and
probably.
leaves the expo.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. But dude, it was, I wouldn't go back and.
Once in a lifetime
Yes,
opportunity.
like we had a blast. Again, are there some things we wish we did differently? Sure, right? But the memories, dude, like it was the funnest time of probably both our lives.
So it was
We traveled a lot.
We went to
LA?
East Coast, West Coast, South
Florida.
Dude, we went everywhere.
And like you said already, you guys were kind of ahead of the curve of the clothing fitness brand.
We were
and
killing
then you
it.
guys
Hey, the competitors hated us. That one company hated Greg. I don't know why they hated him, but they hated him. That wasn't me.
They're not a company more so their name Flex Till You're Famous.
Yeah, they
they
they tried to say we were
hated.
stealing one of their shirts, and then they gave, whatever.
Dude,
They're gone now too.
How funny is that though? That like now everyone has the same clothing, but when
Exactly.
you guys started, someone was like, "You're taking,
dude, I
you're
don't even
taking
know who the fuck you
our
are."
design." Now all the companies make the exact same shirt for everybody, just with their logo on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we were doing well with that.
Yeah, you turned going to expos and selling these clothing into.
We decided to start a supplement company at that point. So
We did it backwards. We should have started a supplement company first.
For sure.
But we didn't know. What do we know?
Yeah. So he's like, dude, we're doing good. Let's take some of this money and roll it over into a supplement company. So we reached out to different manufacturers and whatever. And we found somebody who everything made sense, the kind of product they develop, who they developed for, their experience, their minimums, whatever. So we started sampling shit. And Paul is not good with caffeine, just like he's not good with Jameson.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there and we're just
I don't do
taste testing,
pre-workout.
taste testing.
You're a
And
coffee guy.
When I tell you, we're doing like this much, right?
Yeah.
You know what it was? It was that stuff that makes your face tingle.
1,3-dimethylene and beta-alanine, right?
I was on fucking fire.
There was a lot of both,
And some taurine, I'm sure, in there
Yes.
too. And yeah,
for sure.
this was
And-
back in the day when 1,3
It was
first before it became banned, and then now
Well, that
it's
was one
finding
of the
its way
reasons why we
back on
stopped.
the market. And then,
right?
yeah,
So that was one of the reasons why we stopped. Is because 1,3 got
got
discontinued.
pulled off.
You know,
The FDA was under investigation of the product, the ingredient
Yes.
itself, and it got pulled off of
Thanks,
shelves from
Jared.
those companies.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
but yeah,
not the Subway. We're talking about different Jared.
not the Subway Jared. Yeah, so we were doing really well with the supplements. We went from pre-workouts and fat burners to throwing in pro hormones.
We did some fat boners too, but
Yeah,
that's
fat
different.
boners too, but that was a different company.
Totally
but
different thing.
the pro hormones, dude, that was
We
like
rocked
icing
in
on
the-
the cake, dude. We
then they-
were fucking killing it.
For
And
2
then the pro
months.
hormone ban came on, we would have been millionaires if that never happened.
Then we met this
100%.
guy on the airplane that ruined our whole fucking company.
Yep. Not going to say any names.
I will.
See, I'm not going to tell you not to say it. If you want to say it, go ahead.
I still don't like him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the legality of saying
What
his
legality?
name.
His name is Mark. What's
Yeah, we don't need to say last name. This
we're not
guy
gonna say
Mark, who's
Who's
is
well
very
known.
relevant in the supplement industry and YouTube world for young kids. So we met this guy on a plane going to I believe our second Arnold. Yeah,
Yeah, he sat next behind us.
Yep. We started talking and he's like, "Oh, you guys are bros," and pretty much we talked the entire weekend we were there and we told him what we were doing. And he's like, "Hey, let's meet up." He found out that he lived not far from us. So he lived
Loved
20
peptides.
minutes away, loved everything. Right.
Yeah.
And the pro hormones. Do you want to do a little thing on that too, just to explain, or no?
Pro hormones were basically legal steroids.
Yeah.
So
they were
It's
steroids.
basically a
methylated
steroid
version.
right? That has been chemically engineered to have one
Yes.
oxygen
To not
or
be a
hydrogen
steroid until
off
it
of
hits
It
your
is now
liver
considered a
enzymes.
steroid.
Correct.
Yes.
So
and the FDA's
and for a while,
DEA.
these were being sold by supplement companies. These
Everywhere.
were being sold over the counter.
Yeah, they were on the shelf.
a lot
walk
of guys
around
went to jail
GNC.
for it.
They were everywhere.
But at the time, we thought we were doing something perfectly legal because it
We were
was
at
legal
the time, and then
Yeah.
it got
Right.
the band, and then
So
you had a lot of companies that were selling they said were pro hormones, but they actually had trenbolone in it and
Yeah.
Winstrol powder in it because
and then the
they
big-
got in trouble.
that's who ruined it and why it started getting looked into.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then, yes. But anyway, so we met this guy on the plane and Mark. And when we met in person, we talked about our product line and what we're doing and stuff like that. And he's like, "Hey, listen, we can't do this. We can't do the pro hormones. We can't do your pre-workout because 1,3-dimethylene is getting banned and blah, 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 blah." He's like, the reason why we started talking to him on the plane though, was he found out we had a supplement company and we told him that our manufacturer at that point couldn't keep up with us. We were doing too much volume and their turnaround time was too long, you know?
Yeah, they were super slow.
And he's like, "Let's meet when we get back in town. And, I got some ideas for you guys." So at this time, we're thinking, okay,
This is just a nice in that we can get more our
we're
product
thinking he's
faster.
going
and
to
we
give
can
us
increase.
some manufacturers that he knows, some ideas, whatever. Awesome. So we took him out to lunch. We talked, whatever. And he's like, "Hey, listen, here's the deal. I'm going to manufacture for you." He's like, "Screw your other guys. Screw the people I know. I have a facility in Ohio. I'm going to manufacture for you, but you need to stop production of everything you have going on now. Stop your sales, stop everything, because I don't want my name tied to any of that." Granted, at this time, you were still able to sell all of your shelf life.
Right.
So we had literally tens of thousands of dollars. I think it was like 25 grand worth of pre-workout that we just stopped selling.
Right.
So this guy told us, "Hey, I'm going to have your new product released in 4 weeks. You're
I
just
have
going to have a
boxes
small."
in my garage of this shit.
I was taking
I still have-
a couple of the old pre-workouts,
Yes.
and that's why I made the joke earlier about it lasting 6 months. One, it was an extremely strong pre-workout.
Yep, it was
But
great,
two, I
dude.
had this one
Maxed out with 3 X's.
What's the girl fat burner I had that I started?
Subtract.
I still have
I have some in the basement.
500 bottles in my basement. They're all expired now. If anybody wants to expire, subtract.
Come by Paul's house. No,
Come by. It's-
come see V.
Our one fat burner Incinerate though made it on one of the most topped banned fat burners.
Nice.
It's still on there.
What was on it? What was in it?
A lot.
Everything, bro.
It was
Everything,
insane.
dude.
It
I
felt
think
like
there
I
was
was on-
ephedra in there.
on
There was
ecstasy.
1,3 in there.
Ephedra.
Like,
It made me feel like I took ecstasy.
it was insane.
Not that I've ever taken that, but
If I could imagine.
If I was to guess what ecstasy
I would.
would feel
It
like,
was wild,
it was that.
dude. I would be like, "Phew."
But regardless, so he basically tells us, "Listen,
Right.
I don't want my name touched. That take the loss on everything. You're going to make your money back in 4 weeks.
Right.
We're going to blow this up. I'm going to do all the manufacturing.
I'm going
for
to get you guys a bunch of samples of taste, blah blah. I'm
Yep.
like, all right, cool.
He also, if I
have
remember
a
correctly,
timeline. Go ahead.
if I remember correctly, he also told you guys that he was going to get you a booth at the next year's Arnold.
Yep.
Rolled into all of this because this is
Yes.
when I had first met you, and you actually
He made a lot of
You
promises.
threw out the thing. You were like, "Yeah, we're going to go to the Arnold this year," and I was like, "Wow, that's so." This is when I first met you. This is so
He made
cool.
a
This has
lot
all
of
this.
promises that he didn't deliver on.
Correct.
I have emails of just a track record of all the promises and not fulfilling, right? And it was, "Hey man, when's that sample coming in?" "Oh, dude, I completely dropped the ball. I've been traveling, blah, blah." "Okay, it's going to be here in 2 weeks."
I think
just
he even
emailed him.
lied to us and told us he had them, and then
Yeah, at one point he
ghosted
had
us.
them,
Right.
and then he didn't like them.
Right.
It was 3 weeks of going back and forth where he had the product and was just meeting up. And then finally he's like, you know what, dude, I tried them. I don't even like them. It's not the right one for you guys, you know? Right. And it was one thing after another after another. Dude, what it came down to is we think he was literally intimidated by us.
I was just about to say, years later, in the moment, I didn't realize it. I was still super young. I was probably 20 when this was
He just
all
wanted
happening.
to eliminate competition.
Exactly. This was all a ploy to just get you guys out of the market.
100%. He came to one of the gyms that we were selling at, and he saw that our products were selling faster than his products.
Correct.
And we were just too new into it and naive that he just wanted to get us out.
Absolutely. Right? That's cornering the market. He was doing what he's been taught to do for years.
So I would talk shit on his Instagram all the time.
Well, so it was 8.
That's how I am.
It was literally
so Paul
8
went after
months
him.
of going back and forth.
Right.
And then finally him saying that, hey, like I fucked up, blah, blah, blah. And I literally just ripped him apart. And I told him how he fucked us over, like whatever. Like this guy got caught cheating. He did all this stuff and I stuck up for him. I helped him move in and out of his house. Like I did all these things to try and help him out. He became like what I thought was a real friend at that time, right? We would live together all the time, whatever. And finally, I realized that he was playing us the whole time, right? So once that was it, I told him to go fuck himself. He tried to throw all these apologies out.
Right.
And I said, you're a fake, you're a phony. Everyone's going to find out eventually anyways. So Paul, he just started ripping him apart on his Instagram. And then we started getting texts begging.
This circles back to
to
Paul
not
having
release information.
no fear.
I don't give a fuck. If you fuck me over, I'm coming after you.
That's it.
Sorry.
That's business.
It's life.
Yeah. So
there's a couple YouTubers that are real big. And they kind of had some beef with him as well. Mm-hmm. And Paul started getting into their comments, right? And saying, hey, listen, dude.
I don't remember.
Paul's had a lot of things go on. So there,
Bravo.
A lot of beef.
Oh, yeah, our buddy Bravo. You're right.
Yeah.
I did.
So
Yeah.
Paul's like, listen, dude, like
Let me tell
I
you
got all
something.
this information. This is all in the comments. And after that, they were going to do an episode about it, right? Just completely out of spite.
Right.
And this guy, Mark, I'm not going to say any last names,
Right.
just blew up my phone after. Dude, I dropped the ball. I'm so sorry. Why do you and Paul hate me? Let me make it on good terms. We'll start something together now, blah, 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 blah. And dude, I just lit him up, And I said, I don't want a fucking thing to do with you. I said, you obviously needed the money more than us. We'll take the $25,000 hit, buddy. I said, but we're not giving you any of our time. We're not giving you anything. I'm like, you're a piece of shit.
Of our money.
You showed your true colors. We don't need you, you know? And that was the best part is Paul didn't need, at that time, dude, I was a fucking kid. I think I was still working at Bally's. I think, you know what I mean? Like,
You were in,
I think that was my first year after Bally's opening the gym. It was like 2013 or 2014.
but you were still helping out the pizzeria.
Yep.
You were still running, just opened the gym.
I wasn't in a situation where I could just front tens of thousands of dollars, right? So I just literally put my life savings into starting the gym. That was the first year of getting into the gym, right?
Right.
So, but Paul was in a position where he didn't need an investor financially. The only reason why we went to him is because he basically said, hey, dude, your supplier sucks. I can get you better product and in a faster time and help you guys blow this fucking
his
company
thing was
up.
he was going to do all the shipping, all that. We just marketed it.
We
and
were
then
the
got our
faces
cut.
of it.
Right.
It was all
We're like,
drop
all right,
shipping.
why
It
not?
went to his facility. They shipped everything out. It was less work for us. So Paul's like, fuck, more time for me to invest into other businesses. Let's do it. You know,
what were you currently already, what did you have your hands in while this was happening at the same time? Was this
I had
still
the bar.
you had
this
the
was
bar, you had the car wash, you had
Car wash I
White
sold.
Peptide,
So I had the peptides in the bar.
the clothing company, the supplement company, Fit Belly Tea.
And Get Funky.
Yep.
What was Get Funky?
Get Funky was like party promotional shit.
Like watches,
glasses,
and
watches,
and
the light up shit.
The, all the stuff for New Year's and stuff like that people throw parties
Concerts,
for. And have all
whatever.
we did all those. We did those.
Those like what was that wave events?
Not Wavefront. Wavefront, and the other one, the big one in the city, at Soldier Field.
Yeah.
It was all right. It's all right.
Still cool.
Just something to try.
So you still, again, I was just reiterating Greg's point of Paul didn't need any of that.
No.
Paul was already doing everything else on
Paul
his
was
own.
driving
It
Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Porsches, Mercedes, all at the same damn
I know.
time.
I've been waiting for him to talk about it because he keeps skipping over these businesses. Like, yeah, I had this. I had a bar. It didn't work out too well. I had the car wash.
Not to brag.
Didn't work out that
but
well.
Literally at one point in time, Paul's driveway had a 911 Turbo, an S550, a Lamborghini, and an F430 Ferrari, all in his driveway at the same exact time. We didn't need Mark to front anything.
I didn't need anybody to front
those of you that don't know.
There was no need for it, right? It was just we saw it as an opportunity, right? Hey, this guy already has a name in the industry. Yep. He's going to take a little. It was like a Shark Tank deal.
We can optimize our business by going with this guy. So why not?
We're going to give him a little bit of a cut, but he's going to do all the backing, right?
And I recommend buying a Ferrari when you're young, if you make money and have fun, because I don't regret that at all.
No, that was the best time of his life, and God damn it was probably the best time
30
of my
years
life.
old, I had a Ferrari. Nobody's got a Ferrari.
Dude,
30,
this guy
and I
didn't
had
give a
good time.
fuck. He literally called me one day. I just bought my Jeep, right? My first Jeep. I've had many Jeeps.
So I wanted to buy a Jeep.
Me. And he was like, yo, dude, like, let me see your car. Come over. So I came over, and he drove it. He's like, I'm going to take it for a little bit. He's like, just take my Porsche. And I was like, you sure? He's like, yeah, dude. He's like, I want to test it out. I want to buy one. I'm like, all right, cool.
He's like, he has a Porsche, but he wants a Jeep. Okay.
Two days later, I call him. I'm like, yo, dude, like, you want me to bring your Porsche back? He's like, no, man, I'm going to keep this for a week. Keep the Porsche. So I was just driving this Porsche around. You know what I mean? Like,
I bought a Jeep just like it too. Same color and all.
This is so funny because you were probably so proud of buying your Jeep. And then all of a sudden you're driving the Porsche around for a week and you're like, well, now my Jeep kind of sucks.
I don't want to get back in this Jeep, But
Pamani hooked me up. I got the Jeep.
Yeah.
Shout
out Al Pamani Group, But he didn't give a fuck, That's just how good he was doing, because he wasn't afraid of taking these risks of companies that people never thought of even starting before,
right.
And then obviously we got fucked over, and we just stopped the supplement company. We stopped the clothing company. We're like, listen, he had a lot going on. My dad just had his first spinal fusion. I was way more invested in the pizzeria and just started my first year of owning my own gym.
Right.
So we're like, okay, let's throw this shit on the back burner. There's some shit that we got to figure out. We're going to find a manufacturer. We're going to restart eventually.
And then I started another
company. Back out. He started another company and it
Patriot Seal Coaters.
Yep, and it started taking off.
Which was the worst thing I could ever do.
You were busy though, dude.
I was busy, but it sucked.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yes, seal coating sounds
horrible.
Awful. I'm not gonna lie.
Awful job. Don't ever do it. I don't care if you're broke. Go paint houses. Because then I started my painting company and I crushed it.
Yep.
And you were doing the seal
still crushing it with that.
Yeah, you're still crushing it.
Yeah, Whitewash Chicago. We crush it.
You were doing the seal coating.
It was.
Yeah,
this guy goes from like, I had this company. SEO. I didn't have to do anything.
He was a millionaire, decided that he wanted
and then he goes,
to
let me go outside
and roll people's driveways.
Right. Let me go outside and seal coat some driveways.
Anyway, it was supposed to be one of those things you hire people to do, but nobody wants to work.
Hold on,
so.
I want to go back for a second. When you were having all this fun and you were buying these Ferraris and Porsches, at any point, because someone's going to ask, maybe they will, maybe they won't, I don't know. Someone's going to ask, were you looking at them as like investments? Like, I'm putting money into this thing.
Absolutely not. I knew I was losing money. I didn't care.
I
loved it. I drove fast. I went out every weekend.
Dude, I remember we were sitting at Walk and Fire one day, and I was like, yo, man, like, you should buy a building, dude. And he's like, yeah, we'll eventually. He's like, I'm having fun right now. He's like, in a couple months, I'll do it.
I was young.
I knew the answer to that question. I just wanted to ask it.
I was young. I didn't care.
Because somebody might look at it and go like, oh, that was an investment. He bought this nice Porsche. And he knew
I went out every Friday and Saturday to the city and spent stupid money. I don't regret that either.
Yeah, I
had
left
a blast.
that out. When we traveled for expos, we would make $7,000 in a day, but we'd probably
10.
go spend 10 at a club.
We stayed at this hotel in Fort Lauderdale for nationals. And Greg and I,
what he says a hotel, dude. We were at
Fort
the
Lauderdale,
and we had a suite, and
Sweet,
it was like a
badass,
3-bedroom,
suite.
full kitchen, 2.5 bathroom, like suite on the water.
and my dumbass orders a bottle of Grey Goose,
Dude, he ordered.
it was $450. We didn't even drink it. We didn't even open it. It came with like
Pat
thing of
doesn't
fruit.
drink, so it was a Magnum bottle of Grey Goose.
It just sat there.
That's the big ones from the clubs, right? Yeah, the big old fat boy. Yeah.
but
I seen the
we
pictures.
could have gone to the liquor store and bought. We just were lazy and didn't want to get delivered. We didn't even
He
drink
said,
it.
bro, I just ordered some vodka
For like $30,
I'm like, okay,
$40.
whatever. I'm thinking he ordered like
That's the night
a little
Michelle
bit of
almost
vodka.
left him.
Dude, so no bullshit. Michelle's listening right now, and she seems like this kid is still alive. All right. This is probably like my first or second year with Michelle, right?
This is a great story.
Dude, I swear to God, I didn't know we were gonna be out all night. We went to the expo. We went to
dinner like Las Olas, and anybody knows Fort Lauderdale with the Las Olas. We had like 20 people with us, all the competitors, other companies.
Yeah, because we were out there for nationals. Was that
Nationals?
And my phone.
Two
literally
girls that work
died.
for us competing, Renee and somebody else.
My phone literally died while we were, because after dinner, I didn't know we were going to go out to a club. He didn't know we were going to go out to a club. Like, everyone was in a good mood. Our lawyer was with us. Another story. Our lawyer was with us, and Paul's like, we're going out. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, we had like 2
I got-
expeditions that picked us up.
An hour into going out, my phone dies. And like, I'm not thinking anything of it because I'm literally not doing anything wrong, right? Like, I'm just drinking and having a good time. Dude,
I'm hammered.
Paul comes up to me. He's like,
We just get back to the hotel. I go, hey, Greg, Michelle just texted me, said, where the fuck is my boyfriend or whatever, something like that.
where the fuck is my boyfriend?
Something, he better fucking come. Greg, you better call Michelle.
Was she down there with you guys?
No.
Or she was home. She
No,
was
she was
here
home.
and
She
she
was
was
home.
calling to see where you
Yeah.
were, but your phone was dead.
my phone was
Where
dead.
the
But
fuck
she's
is-
thinking that was like one of our first trips.
sure.
Yeah.
She's thinking this guy
This
goes
scumbag.
to Fort Lauderdale.
I know
on his
about that
first
Paul guy.
business trip.
I heard about that Paul
Yeah.
guy.
His first business trip, and all of a sudden his phone dies. Like, it literally was such a coincidence,
Right.
But it looked very
And just
bad.
to note, my bed was tan in the morning. Orange.
Yeah. My bed just had my own body sweat on. Paul's bed was orange.
I shared my bed with the girl that competed, and she was spray tanned. And I woke up and
destroyed
went,
it.
holy shit. We're getting charged for these sheets.
Destroyed it.
Oh, it was destroyed. I mean, I have a picture of her hands in my phone. They were like orange. We went to dinner, remember, with Amy, and
Yeah.
her hands were
remember, dude.
orange.
The best part though is, I believe
We met the what's his name?
Dallas McCarver.
No,
Oh, you're talking about
we met Mr. Olympia,
oh yeah, we met
Phil Heath. We
yeah,
took
met
pictures with Phil Heath and all those guys.
Phil
Dexter
Heath stayed at our
Jackson.
hotel. He actually invited us for sushi.
This time it was
we
actually
didn't go.
sushi, not steak.
Well, we had a dinner with other people set up. But we met him out when we first got there. He pulled up the same time we did. We talked to him. And then the second night in the hotel, we saw him. We were talking to him. And then he was like, yeah, I'm just getting sushi. Why don't you guys come get sushi? But we were meeting other people for dinner and shit. All of our athletes, stuff like that. So we're like, oh, fuck.
I would have canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, now we're older now and wiser. We would have canceled now.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
Back then, we
Like,
We were like,
we're
oh, we
going-
got to set an example. You know what I mean?
Sorry,
Like,
guys. Go out
We're
on
trying to
your
grow
own.
this company. You know, little did we know we could have just worked alongside Phil Heath.
And grew a big old company with Phil Heath, but that's okay. You live
It
and
was
you
a
learn.
good time, dude. It was a lot of experience, a lot of trial and error. Wouldn't take it back. It was fun.
Yeah, cars are fun. Spend your money. You can but die tomorrow.
Don't think
Yeah.
about the investment part of it.
So
Just
put
spend
all
your
of your
money.
clothes for your clothing company onto a plane, buy Ferraris and Porsches, and
Then in a couple of years, you'll
order Magnum bottles that you don't drink.
in a couple of years, you'll be ready to open a med spa.
Yeah,
You open a med
that's it.
spa. Hey, listen, I wanted to open a med spa for 10 years. I just didn't know how to do it. And
Yeah.
it was different 10 years ago than it is now.
For sure.
So in the last, I'd say 3 years, 4 or 5 years, testosterone has become more mainstream. In the last 2 years, it's kind of,
For sure. Before it was very taboo. Nobody talked about it, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows
Now
who used it, but no one talked about it.
everybody talks about using it freely, from athletes to actors to
you know what really brought it out was COVID.
Yeah.
No joke. Because when COVID happened, telemedicine changed, telemedicine laws. Now they did controlled substances online, which is going to stop soon anyway. But now people are going online and getting testosterone from a clinic in New
Florida
Jersey or
or whatever,
Florida.
yeah,
All they're doing is a little visit. Their blood work's in the mail. They prick their finger, send it back in. Oh, he's got testosterone 112. You know, $200 a month. The guy's got testosterone and his anti-estrogen. That's how it really blew up now, I think.
For sure.
In my opinion. And then now it's more of an accepted thing.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, there's a million compound pharmacies out there. Legit. I
legitimately a
mean,
million.
literally in Chicago, there's probably 200.
Yeah.
Maybe more. I don't even know. But they're on every corner. You don't even hear about them. So it's
You had to play the long game with it. You had to wait and you had to let it.
it kind of all came together. I was like, you know, with my partner, I'm like, hey, let's, you know, we need really, like, I really want to do this med spa thing, like with my blood, with everything happening.
Yeah, and if he mentions his partner Mark, he's not talking about the
same
old
Mark.
guy Mark that we hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Different
a
mark.
There's
Different
a
marks.
bad mark and a good mark.
Yeah.
We're talking about good mark.
And so it just all kind of came together, you know, and it's a great business. It is. It's something I enjoy. It's something I'll actually want to go to work for.
It's something you enjoy, and it's something people need, right? Like there's
Correct.
There's a need in our area for it. Absolutely. For
sure.
100%.
Yeah.
the amount of people that just need blood work, right? That don't realize it. Like you're making it available to them, right? The people who are male and female, not at a
I'll tell you this, a regular doctor, they don't get it.
I agree.
Most
Your
doctors
general
are
practitioner is not taught
They
to
don't
be
want
a
to give you
hormonal
testosterone.
specialist. You
They
know
don't
what I mean?
want. They'll give you every negative they thing about it. Oh, you'll get prostate cancer. You'll get this. It's not good.
they
For
don't-
you.
That's the different though, because they're uneducated. on
Right,
it.
they don't-
Yes,
they don't know.
They're doctors, but in med school, you're not learning about that, right? Unless you're an endocrinologist, which is a different story, right? But your general practitioner hears testosterone and he thinks bodybuilder taking 1,000 milligrams of test a week.
And our
right?
big thing is female hormones too.
Yeah. Hormone replacement therapy, male or female, is to get your hormones who through age, right, have regressed. It's to get them back to a normal, healthy state.
Age, disease, whatever the case may be.
Listen, only 15. This is a fact. 15% of people that are 40 years old their hormones are optimized naturally.
Optimally functioning.
After 50, 5%. I mean, that's pretty bad.
That's horrible. And what people don't realize though, and this is something I actually had a conversation with my mom about the other day, right? So
Shout out mom again, second episode in a row.
Shout out my mom. What's up, dude? My mom's a badass, right?
What's up, dude?
You want to hear a funny story?
My other
actually?
mom, Claire.
Yep, that's Paul's second mom. So we're standing here, right? And there's a bunch of people here. We had my daughter's 5th birthday party, right? And Michelle, she's in the kitchen cooking, and there's ovens going, whatever. There's heat, so I'm sweating, right? And I'm hot no matter what. In the winter, I drive with my windows cracked, right? Not even the heat on, heated seat on, steering wheel on, air or heat is off, windows cracked all winter since I got my license.
That's the formula.
Yeah, trembolone. So, my mom, we're standing in my kitchen, and I open up my back door, and I'm just standing in front of it, right? She walks up. And she's listening, so I don't really care. She already said it. She walks up to me. She goes, what's the matter? I go, I'm fucking hot, Ma. She goes, I've been listening to your podcast. She goes, is it the roids?
Is it the roids?
And I go, no, Ma, just on TRT these days. I'm like, I don't really need to, do the things a bodybuilder does anymore. I don't compete, blah, blah, blah. And when I said TRT, she knew right away, and she was like, hey, Paul's doing TRT at his clinic, and stuff like that. Like, what is that? Like, what is it for females? Whatever. And she started asking questions, and I explained to her. I'm like, Mom, people don't realize that everyone is doing this, and if they're not, they should be, right? Like,
I think the cool part is that she was somebody who's
my mom's not ignorant,
a layman in just this world that we're in, but she's not ignorant either. And she heard TRT and she's like aware of what it is. I think if I said it in front of my
she's
parents,
only aware of it because of our podcast.
Sure. But I think if I would mention it in front of my parents, they might not understand it. But if I said HRT or hormone replacement therapy, I think they would they would grasp
I think
slightly
that
what it
your
was.
parents would grasp what it is, but I still think that most people are like, oh, like you're gonna take steroids.
They don't. Sorry,
they would think
steroids.
it's
they don't know. They don't
Testosterone,
understand
steroids.
Sorry,
it's not.
they don't.
You know what? It reaches a point when you do so many milligrams. Yeah,
for sure.
Steroid,
if you're
right?
abusing it, it's now a steroid.
Correct.
Right?
I'm not saying that they think of it as a positive thing. I'm just saying they hear it and they're like, oh yeah. Like I know what that is, or I've heard of that before.
Listen, we're gonna do ED medicine too. ED, erectile dysfunction. For all you guys that can't get boners, come see me.
We got you.
Or want better boners.
Or better boners.
Yeah.
So, but my mom though, she's like, explain it, So I explained it a little bit more. And again, I think it's great that she's not ignorant, right? Like, I explained, I said, Mom, listen, it is unhealthy for a male or female to try and function and live their life at a subpar level of hormones, right? So for a male who used to function at 600 to 800 nanograms deciliter of their testosterone levels, right? Who, whether they abuse drugs or they're crazy stressed or horrible diet or just age,
and most
are now
of it's
functioning
diet.
at 100.
No.
Huh?
All these young guys with these low testosterone, it's
mostly diet.
lifestyle.
The reason
lifestyle.
They go out, they drink a lot, they eat like shit, they eat
But
fatty
now they're
foods.
trying to do all the same things at a fraction of the hormones that they should be functioning on.
Yeah, you're going to feel terrible.
It is more stress on your body.
Yeah.
Right. You're more prone to heart disease, heart attack, all of that. If you get your hormones back to an optimal stage, right, you're not only going to have a better metabolism, you're going to have better sleep, better recovery. You are going to function
More energy
optimally. Right.
Yeah.
So it is easier for your body to do everything it needs to do to live a healthy lifestyle. Right. And you are less prone to dying at an early age, opposed to overstressing and overworking your body, trying to do everything you used to do 10 years ago at a fraction of the hormonal levels.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
So Pat,
And my mom was like,
playing with a handicap.
wow, they
Yeah,
do
for
that
sure.
for women too. You know, like,
and
yeah,
it's a
it's for
huge
male
business
or
for women,
female.
and it's really hard to find a good doctor or somebody that knows what they're talking about for women. And the women's, it's less common. You don't hear about it more, but more women need it than
Absolutely,
than
they
probably
do.
men.
Yeah.
With the abuse of birth
I think
control and all the stuff that
everything.
happens
For
nowadays,
sure.
they absolutely need it just as much as men do.
I think men are more open to learning about it and hearing about it.
The
know what I mean?
women's blood work is more complex than men's. It's
For
more
sure.
money than men's. It's more there's more.
Well, there's way
factors
more
to it.
moving parts, right?
Yeah,
like
but-
when a male sends me his blood work, versus a female sends
You
me
already know
her
what you're
blood
looking
work,
at. Yeah.
there's fucking way more shit that comes to play.
Yeah.
Right? You know?
Yeah.
And people don't realize that. But I think a lot of females now, because of them going to Botox clinics and things like that, they're getting more exposed to seeing that people are actually doing stuff to optimize their hormones.
Right.
And now even women, like 5 years ago was just men who were open to this idea, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like so many more women now are actually open to the idea of learning about how to optimize their living, you know?
yeah, wellness has been such a
For sure.
it's a
They can
buzzword
go and
that,
get Botox in their
Right.
face that has chemicals that
but
no
even-
one knows the long-term effects of, right? Why wouldn't they be open to learning about how to get better hormone levels that they're already
Listen,
producing
right. You remember-
to function at a better rate?
For men too, there's not just testosterone to
Correct.
boost. Now there's enclomiphene
Yeah.
with HCG, which is a huge thing for young guys. Cause I think anybody if you're under 29, 30, 28, you're younger, let's say there's 22-year-olds with low testosterone. You don't want to necessarily get them stuck on TRT for the next 30 years.
Correct. Yes.
So if they can,
But there's other
naturally-
things you can
like
do.
Enclomiphene is insane. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
There's other things you could do to try and get them to an optimal state.
And that's what's good about you come to me, I'm not going to say, all right, you're going on testosterone. I mean, it's great, right? But if you're 21, let's try something first.
Right.
Like, let's do your blood work.
For sure.
Come
And there's
back
also-
in 6 weeks.
it's
Hey,
not-
it might
And it might be something though, I don't know if this is what you were going to say. Sorry for cutting you off. I think he cut you off first, though, so give me some credit. But there's other things you can
your
do.
hormones are low. I cut you off. Anyway.
There's other things you can do than just give testosterone. If you have a low testosterone level, right? Maybe it's because you have high estrogen levels, right?
You might
So
listen.
maybe we
what I
can
was gonna say.
attack that first.
Hey, you
right?
could have 1,200. Your test could be 1,200. Your free testosterone could be like 2.
Yeah.
Right.
So now you got to fix that. You don't need testosterone. But
super
you need
high-
to take something else like Provine. There's more
There's
to
a
it
lot
than
of
just
things you could do. There's a lot of drugs. People think go to testosterone because that's the most common and obviously it's the main.
And the worst
hormone
thing
of
these
the
people
male,
are doing
right?
too now, and this is why all these companies are doing testosterone. Everybody's anti-estrogen. Anti-estrogen. You don't need anti-estrogen unless you really need them because they're horrible for your body.
If you're taking a TRT dose, right? And that's the thing. Like I've heard of a lot of people, even my clients, who are like, "Oh yeah, so and so, this company gave me TRT, and I'm taking
With the Arimidex.
1 milligram of Arimidex every other
Yeah.
day, and I'm taking 500 IUs of HCG every third day." And I'm like, "Why? Let me see your hormone panel, right?" And you see that they don't have elevated estrogen levels, right?
all you're doing is messing your lipids up.
Yeah, and guess what? Yeah, I was gonna say
all you're gonna do.
Just taking Arimidex when you don't need Arimidex, you're
the
gonna
problem.
affect your
Here's the
cholesterol.
problem,
Like,
Greg. These compound pharmacies now are doing. I saw that bottle had Arimidex in the shot. It's like, I'm supposed to take it 3 times a week. It makes no sense why you're taking Sipinate 3 times a week.
Yeah.
It's got Arimidex in the Sipinate.
So they want them taking
It's
both
a
at the same-
compound, so
right.
it's because and I go,
Well,
listen,
it's
that's the
also-
worst thing you can do. They're just trying to make more money.
I was gonna say,
it's
it's
all
it's all-
about money. Listen, I want to make money. Trust me. But at the end of the day, I want to help people.
That's why all of us go into business. We run businesses where we help people every day. We're still putting food
still
on our
need to pay
table.
our fucking bills, right?
We still put food on our table, but we want
there's
to help.
right ways to do it, and that's where a company like yours, who's going to try and do things the right way, you're going to stand out opposed to these other companies that will just prescribe anything and they're not actually paying attention to their blood work.
Yeah, and we're going to do both ways. So you could come in and get your testosterone shot weekly because I'd say 80% of guys don't want to do their own shot.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a program for people that want to do it on their own. It ships right to them.
Yeah.
They do their own shots. They get their blood work done by us every whatever it is, 6 to 8 weeks, and then we roll with that.
Now, how does that work? So if somebody wants to get it sent to them, Is it more money? Is it an insurance thing? Like, how does that work?
I don't technically know exactly how it's going to work. It will be a different. It's going to be
Because I know there's some compound pharmacies that do that, right?
They all do it. They'll all ship something. So it's a prescription and they ship it to you, right?
So it's more so the client's preference at that point?
Correct. But I'd say it's harder for insurance to cover it if you're doing it on your own. It's easier to get it covered if they're coming in by us and
Because there's
giving
a
them their
chance that
shot.
someone might do more than they're supposed to or less than they're supposed to.
I mean, you get it covered. It's just, it depends on their insurance and all that, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll figure all that out. We're still, listen, we're just starting construction. We just hired.
Early stages.
We're early stages.
You pretty much got all your employees lined up at this point.
We're about 90 days out till we open.
Okay.
So June 1st. Is that June 1st? Something
It
like
is
that.
March 1st.
Yeah. 90 days. March, April, May.
So there you go. So I should have my kidney. I should be put 20 pounds back on of eating protein, maybe 15, 10.
It's only 3 months.
So have you, since
I love
being
to eat.
in kidney failure, I'm just curious now that you're going to open, you're going to have a new kidney, whatever,
I'm gonna be a whole new guy.
your blood work, right? Like, where are your testosterone levels currently? Is TRT an option for you
So I'm not on
post-transplant
TRT now.
or no?
After my transplant, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Is that something that doctors are like, hey, listen, like, do you know where you're functioning right now or no?
My kidneys,
No, your testosterone levels.
probably about 150.
Okay, so you are a candidate for TRT.
Yeah, and I mean, right now I don't care.
And
I'm
listen, the reason why I asked that is this, right? People who think like, oh, TRT is a drug, you're on steroids, whatever. And again, I want to reemphasize the point we already brought up is it's not when you're getting your hormones to a normal level. For his doctors to tell him
Right.
post kidney transplant, he is safe to go on testosterone replacement therapy.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, low
is
dose.
to-
It's going to be low.
Yeah,
but
it's going to get him to a normal, healthy
Right.
functioning of his testosterone levels.
Right.
You know,
He's not walking around at 40 years old with half a kidney at 800.
Yeah, they're not going to
800
be like,
like-
hey, man, go do 1,250 mgs a week. Like,
No, not at
he's
all.
not going to be a bodybuilder. That's why, like, people were like, oh, TRT is cheating. TRT is not ultra dosing to get to superhuman points. It is dosing to get yourself to a healthy hormonal function
TRT shit
level.
between like 600 and 900. You
Yeah.
don't want to go anything over 1,000. Now you're talking
No.
cardiac issues.
You should be the high end of the normal range.
Correct.
Which, depending on the doctor, the scale's different. I've seen anywhere from 250 to 300 nanograms deciliter up to 850 to 1100.
I've seen guys at 12, 1300. Their doctors are just stupid, you know.
Yeah,
but that's you got that out there.
Yeah.
There's
So,
always gonna be variable for.
and again, I
someone
think those
being
are
an idiot.
doctors. Like,
Right.
we know a doctor who used to be out in Skokie. Not going to
He's
send you
still there,
names. You
but yeah.
name, you know, I know. Okay. Who you could go in there, dude, your levels could have been whatever the fuck you want them to be. You could have been blasting 1,500 mgs a week, and he would still give you a script, you know, because it's money for him, right? He would find a way around it to word it that you're
Right, that it's needed, right.
But
And we all know it's
That's when insurance.
that's a
doesn't
shady
cover.
doctor. And that was all out of pocket. There was a reason why your insurance didn't cover it.
Right.
Where he's going to be, it is going to be to push health optimization.
Right.
You know? And again, this is not just testosterone. This is not just women's hormonal panels and stuff like that. This is, you're going to do all health and wellness, right? He's pushing from IVs with vitamins to weight loss avenues to Botox to
immunity
estheticians,
IVs, all sorts of
everything.
different things.
Yeah.
Everything health and fitness related, you're going to offer pretty much.
Yeah. Yep.
We're gonna be at your grand opening doing a live podcast, our first ever one.
We should. There you go.
If you want us to, we will.
Yeah, right in the parking lot. Put some balloons around you guys.
I wanted to be inside because I like air conditioning. You said June. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I got you.
all right. He's like, I'll save some room for you
One
guys
of the rooms
in
in the back where you guys
Put
can
them in the bedroom.
Put you guys in the IV room.
Deal. We'll do it hooked up to IVs.
Live IV,
There you
yeah,
go.
that'd be
That's a
really
great-
cool.
Yours is going to have fentanyl in it, though.
Good.
His is going to have testosterone in it.
Yes.
Everyone,
Optimize his hormones for about a
He
week.
needs it.
why is Pat's bag double the size and a different color than everybody else's?
He's just turning into a giant pimple.
As I'm sitting down, I'm getting redder.
They actually do have. There's a. I don't know what it is. It's blue. Whatever the solution.
One of the
is.
IVs is.
Yeah. I forgot what
I
it's
don't know what it is. I think it's Kool-Aid.
It's called Blue Lagoon and
Get Pat drunk with
turns
IV.
you into a fish.
Kind of looks like Cialis, feels like Cialis. You get erect like Cialis, but it's not Cialis.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
What are you most excited about with this venture?
with the med spa.
Yeah.
It's open 3 or 4 of them. and then
Is that your guys' plan?
What are you most excited about the thing you're about to open? To open more of them.
Open.
I mean,
more.
I think it's a business that can grow.
It's needed. It's needed.
I think it can grow fast. Not too fast. I don't want to grow too fast, but I think we're going to outgrow our spot fast.
I agree. I think so too.
And it's just, it's something I like. I actually want to go to work, So
For sure.
it's all about having the right staff.
I think it'll keep you happy for quite a while.
Yeah,
I think whether it is managing.
I'm hoping this is my last business. This is it.
It's funny you say that. I was just going to say, do you have any plans for, you've already said that you've had over 20 LLCs. Do you have any plans for any other business ventures?
Are you going to make it to 25?
Or is this it? You're hoping that you just run with this and keep growing and adding more.
I'm getting old now.
More.
I'm sick of taking risks. I want retirement, baby.
I get it.
All right. Moral of the story: risk 20s, 40s, no more risk.
Correct.
Got it.
Risk when you're young.
Risk when you're young.
I did a lot of risking when I was young.
You did a lot of risking
with risky people.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He wasn't talking about.
Oh, you know what? I forgot. I started 2 Bitcoin ATM companies too.
Oh, yeah. How did we skip over?
I don't know how we skipped over that, but we did. That was a big part
was
of my life.
Yeah, the other ones
was
were so important that we.
That was after. That was after Great White Peptide.
That was after everything. That was like I sold a year and a half ago.
You know what's funny is Paul and I both should have been like trillionaires right now
For Bitcoin.
He started getting into Bitcoin, and I'll let you answer how you got into Bitcoin. I don't even remember. He's like, dude, there's this thing called Bitcoin.
People are gonna think this whole episode's fake,
and he's like, we should buy, dude.
They're gonna hear your stories and be like, oh, at the end of the episode, they remembered
Bitcoin
this
was
guy
like
had.
under $100.
Bitcoin was $85 when I was buying.
He was like,
I was
buy
buying
some whatever, and like he tried explaining it to me, and I was like, I don't really know.
My old partner, let's get in real quick.
And he didn't do it. He just started buying machines and started
calls
the company.
me in from Florida. I got this great way to make money, Paul. I'm going to help you out. Like, blah, blah. I'm coming back. I'll show you next week. I'm like, all right. He comes back. He shows me his website. It's called Local Bitcoins. They actually just got shut down. They're done. They closed. So you go on there. You can buy a Bitcoin and you mark it up. So you buy Bitcoin, like we buy like 5 Bitcoin.
There was a market. I remember being in his point to show
and then
me
you
this.
could, and so this is how I got banned for a bunch of banks. Chase banks banned me because so we buy
At
Bitcoin.
that time, this is the start of crypto.
This is the start of crypto. $85. I'm buying like 30 or 40 a day, and then you put them on local Bitcoins. You mark them up like 5%, right? Then it'll be like, you can deposit through they go to your Chase account, deposit $5,000 under your LLC from a different state, and then you release the Bitcoin to them. Then you get rated on this site. So that's how we started. And we met this guy in the city who owned Redfin, which is a big Bitcoin ATM company. They were like the first one in Chicago, right? And we were buying Bitcoin from him. So we met him at the ATM. We were buying from his ATM. He's like one of the first ATMs. He said, you guys can just buy direct from me if you want, instead of going to my ATM. And then he has, hey, I got a spot. If you guys get me spots, I'll give you a commission on, if we get spots for machines. So we're like, fuck this. Let's buy our own ATM, we don't need this guy.
Right.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
You're good.
We got no idea what the fuck we're doing. Spend $8,000 on this ATM. Got a spot in the ghetto, 79th and Cottage. Happy Liquors, right?
I remember this.
Insane spot.
He loved it there, though. The guy that worked there, he would come with all these stories.
Hey, ghetto. I'm talking. This is like
ghetto.
I don't fit in. Let's just say that. So our machine cranks. The first month we did like $60,000. That's like 120,000. We buy like 5 more machines. Well, we have no idea what we're doing. Then we're like, we're a money service business. You got to have a compliance officer. Hired some guy to our compliance. He fucking was a fake. He was scammed us,
them, dude.
For sure.
So we hired, spent $15,000, had a compliance thing done. Long story short, we have 13 machines. I don't get along with my partner at this point. He's in Florida. I'm here. I sell the company to him. He explodes after that. Has 3,000 machines.
Dude, he was killing it.
Like multi-million, he's got 20 or 30,000 or $30 million in machines now. He's all over the country. Long story short, I opened another one. A couple years later with a partner. Travel in the world. COVID starts. I'm on planes by myself.
You were all over the place.
I traveled every week. California, Texas, Miami. As I'm going through kidney failure, it was probably the worst. Probably took 5 years off my life.
It probably.
We would see Paul at like 4 or 5 in the morning in the gym. But Paul,
flying to Florida.
Why are you up? Well, I just got back from Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah.
I'm flying to Florida right now. I gotta leave. I gotta leave in an hour.
So I ended up getting like 50 machines out here. Expanded it.
He was busy.
It's in like about a year and a half.
You
And
were
then
all over the place.
I was everywhere. I mean, I was in like 16 different states.
Getting stopped at airports with tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, it was horrible. I got stopped with 50,000 cash from Pittsburgh coming through with COVID. They like opened the bag, looked at me, stopped me. I'm like, oh, fuck. And they're like, oh, called somebody. I don't know what they said. Looked at the receipts. All right, you're good to go. I was like, holy shit. So it happened to me twice. I got stopped in Miami too with like 40,000. She goes, looks at it, feels it. Like I have to feel, make sure it's not more. I'm like, what? I have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
She's like,
They
Let me feel your dick a little bit.
that's
Yeah.
right.
So-
Got it.
Long story short, I travel like an asshole. And then my old partner bought me back. He bought me out, which was great because I had to get out of it. I couldn't do it anymore. Couldn't travel with the kidney stuff. It was just too much on my body. And then I got COVID really bad. Threw my kidneys into stage 5 kidney failure within like a month.
Yeah, well, we actually kind of skipped that. I don't
COVID
want to
part?
keep rambling too much, but when did you first realize or find out that you were going through kidney failure?
I didn't even know I ended up getting shingles. So I
remember. I'm
He
just
remembers.
asking for the people.
it was 7 years ago. So I ended up
Baiting him.
I was baiting me. Yeah. I was feeling like shit. I kept gaining weight and I wasn't really working out. Man, I'm like bloated. Like stomach was bloated, but whatever. Eating like shit.
Yeah.
Trenbolone. I ended up in the hospital with shingles. Thought I had a stroke. They pulled my blood. They're like, poof, your creatinine level's 4.8. I was like, well, what does that mean? I don't even know what that means,
Yeah.
Like you're in
Now we
stage
know.
3 kidney failure. Like they put me in ICU. Like you need to go on dialysis. I'm freaking out. So I got home. My feet blew up. It was Greg's bachelor party. How long have you been married?
2016, so 7 years.
7
this
years.
June.
So it happened 7 years this June. It was right before your bachelor party. So
Sorry, dude, his feet were
my feet,
swollen,
I couldn't
dude.
put my shoes on. It's the only time I ever had edema in my body. And then I got it better. I was down like the 2s and then was functioning fine. You would never know, Went to the kidney doctor every like year. And then I got COVID, man. And it just went.
That's when it just went.
I had COVID. I had fever for 15 days and I got my blood work done. And it was like
His body was
3.2. Then the next
couldn't
month it
fight
was
it
like
off
4. Then it was like 6. And then it got to like 7. And my doctor's like, we got to get you on the kidney transplant list after like at 5. He's like, I know you don't feel like it. I felt fine. I just was,
Right.
And
You
then
felt fine. You were just
After the
always
initial shock,
tired.
I was always tired. But then it really got me the last time I had COVID, like 3-4 months ago, 5 months ago. Then my creatinine level got in the 9s.
Yeah.
And I felt it. And I'd probably say the last 6 months I felt like shit.
Yeah, for sure.
But the last 3 months, it's rough. I avoided dialysis because I'm an asshole and I'm stubborn. So,
That's my dog.
and, but here we are. So 2 weeks, 14
2 weeks.
days. They're cut me open.
By the time this comes out, 7 days.
Stick
You'll
a
be
kidney
at
in me.
T-minus a week. It's been a journey for you.
What are you excited about post surgery?
Nothing.
Salt.
Just feeling like normal.
I'm just excited
protein.
to honestly to eat.
Remember when you couldn't eat sodium for the longest time?
I still can't eat sodium.
Yeah,
Pat.
I know, but you were neurotic about it
I'm
for a
still
little
neurotic.
while.
That's the one thing I got to stay away
You
from.
need to,
They probably just stopped talking about it because we kept making fun of him for
He's
it.
probably also
I'm the only
a
guy
little
that
more-
looks at the label and goes,
He's probably also
sodium. Can't
He's
eat
probably also way more comfortable with it now too.
Yeah.
But man, that was
I just want to be able to go eat a piece of pizza and not feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I have to take a fucking horse
I
pill.
love eating pizza.
You know what I mean? Like every time I got high phosphorus, I take phosphorus pills every meal. It's a pain in the ass.
the diuretics.
The diuretics. That's the word. I'm on
He's like, I had to pee this entire episode actually because of my Lasix.
8 pills in the morning, 3 pills during the day, 10 before I go to bed. It's like nonstop.
Well, post surgery though, you're going to be
still
taking
gonna be
a lot
on-
of pills, right?
Yeah.
Post
You take
surgery
all the
for the
rejection meds?
first 6 months, it's a lot of meds, and then after that, they regulate you, and you're on like 2 different meds. I'll be on probably 1 blood pressure med, and that's it.
Okay.
We're gonna throw you one heck of a Christmas party once all this stuff starts.
So I can't.
calm
The
down
only
a
thing
little
I'm not looking for, I can't travel for 6 to 8 months.
Fuck it.
Can't leave the state.
Yo, go travel.
What do you need to-
go
yeah.
travel this week. Get it out
I'm not
now.
allowed to travel at all right now. I'm not supposed to leave. I'm not even supposed to
for
go.
real?
Like they don't want me out to dinner. Nothing. I'm 2 weeks out from surgery. Can't get sick.
He's not supposed to be here right now.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little sick,
I'm
dude.
just. It's just kind of like a waiting thing. I've been waiting a long time, so it's a
been a
long
long time.
road. It's ready to happen. I'm excited for the catheter to tickle my balls.
That's the most excited.
And
thing
I'm excited to
about
eat
most.
again, to be honest, and like work out and feel good. Like I haven't felt like I know everybody thinks, oh, you look fine, you don't look bad. I look
But
like
you don't feel like yourself.
Right.
No, I feel like shit. I mean, if it's not one day I have a headache, it's something, or I'm tired, or
Yeah, it's-
I mean,
And
if I
talk
don't,
about going to I give him fucking credit, right? Like I tore my pec and I found a reason to not work out for almost a year, right?
Paul's in the gym
I
every
was
day.
like, I don't feel like myself. I don't fucking like it. I don't look the way I want to look. Fuck this, right? Paul goes to the gym every day at 5 or 6 a.m. still. And I know this because it's my fucking gym and I actually physically see him doing it. And he is on so much diuretics and can't train or eat the way he wants that he doesn't even feel a fucking pump. And this dude is coming in there and he's fucking doing it every day. So moral of the story is fuck all your excuses.
Exactly.
Fuck my excuses.
Yep.
Paul's dick's bigger than everybody. All 3 inches are way bigger than everybody else's, you know?
Yeah. It's been a journey for you.
Dude, it has been. I remember when he went to the hospital. He thought he was having a heart attack.
Thought he was having a stroke.
He texted me. He's like, bro, ambulance is coming. Blah, 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 blah.
My head was numb. My arm was numb. I was bleeding.
The ambulance.
How about a couple months ago when you...
Oh, I had AFib.
Skip ahead, though.
So I know. I'm just saying.
My blood pressure was like 260 over 199.
When he first went to the hospital and he ended up having shingles, he woke up in the middle of the night and thought he was having a heart attack. His son was in his house, right? Paul woke up. His arm was numb and his nose was bleeding, right? He texted me, bro, I'm going to the hospital. Blah, blah, blah. He got in the ambulance, texted me, dude, blood pressure's, what was it, 2 something?
It was 2 something over almost 200. It was insane.
We went to the hospital to see him. And at this point, dude, I think this guy's fucking dying, right? Like, I don't know what's going on. I get to the hospital. They put me in a hazmat suit.
Got shingles.
I'm like, hey, I'm here to see Paul Leix. Like, I didn't know he had shingles.
I didn't even know.
Here, put this on.
They made me, dude, when I tell you
for a week.
Hazmat suit, I'm talking head to fucking toe. Covered. I look like I worked for fucking NASA, dude.
I was in one of those rooms where they open the door and the air sucks out. Yep, isolation room.
I walked in. I said, dude, what the fuck is going on? He's laying there like this.
I was all drugged up.
He's like, bro, I got shingles.
I literally, it started, I had a little dot in my neck. I didn't even know that. When I got by the time I got in the ambulance, it was like quarter size, a little bigger. And the paramedic guy goes, you got shingles. I said, what? Because I had this pain in my shoulder. Horrible pain. And that was the start of it. It's a nerve pain, you know, because it went from this whole side to here. And then I went AFib at the gym, which was awesome.
So
a couple months
for
ago.
the people listening,
shout out to Anthony for helping you out.
Yeah, thanks, cuz. For the people listening, right? You already had kidney issues and did not know about it, right?
Yeah.
And then shingles happened.
And that took me
what people don't realize is
they don't know when it happened.
Shingles attacks your immune system, though.
Correct.
Right?
But shingles is usually caused when I was only 32. It's usually caused because your body's like stressed, right?
Yeah.
One,
so
two,
that's what I'm saying. It was stress from the kidney failure.
I was eating like 8 Advil a day for like a week and a half because this pain in my shoulder. So that could have caused a lot of kidney damage too. They're the worst. Advil's terrible for your kidneys.
So I was like, you already
had
Advil, kidney damage. Then you started popping the Advil, and then you got shingles, which ate at your body even more, which led them to actually start researching your body and being like, okay, fuck, this is what's going on.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the while, every single person is looking at Paul, and this was the point I was going to make throughout this whole story. Everyone's looking at Paul and going, oh, but you look so healthy.
I get it all the time.
The whole time.
Great. You're not sick.
And I think everyone thinks that they were probably helping you by telling you that. But when you hear it over and over and over again and you feel terrible.
I mean, listen, I go to the doctors and they'll be like, stage 5. Damn. Because I mean, I lost 15 pounds in the last
But I think it's because, number one, you were 270 pounds before. So like to you, you've lost so much, but to most people, you still look like a big athletic dude, right?
When I went for my kidney evaluation, I was like 5, my creatinine level.
Yeah.
They asked me if I could walk up a flight of stairs. I was like, dude, I do cardio every day.
They go, I'll fucking sprint.
How do you think I got here?
The average people in that stage can't even walk.
And that's what I'm saying. But you took care of yourself. You worked out. You ate good. Bro.
You know, like my kidney doctor says, you're my strongest kidney patient I think I've ever had, Paul.
Right.
I listen to my body.
And that's what I'm saying, though. Like most people who find out, they start giving up on themselves.
Absolutely.
Right? And they hear that they're sick and they stop doing everything.
Yeah.
Paul heard he was sick and he changed his diet immediately.
Yep.
And he went to the gym every fucking single day.
Yep.
And I think that's why most people look at him now and be like, "Oh, dude, you're not dying. You don't have kidney
Well, they've
failure,
been saying
right?
They've been saying that the whole time. Like, you don't. You're not sick.
Yeah.
That's not you. And it's like,
but to him, he feels like it because he still can't function to the way that he used to.
Absolutely. And
But to the average person, he's still more active in doing things.
Right.
It's still a fraction of what he used to be able to do.
For sure.
But it kept him going. It kept him strong.
Right.
Yeah, I'm still alive. That's why I tell everybody. I'm still like breathing. Yeah. So then in a couple 2 months ago? Yeah.
It had to have been the end of last year.
2 or 3 months ago.
I've never had heart issues ever. Everything's been good. Stress test good. Driving to the gym, I woke up fine, eating an apple like a healthy person. Started feeling funny on the way to Greg's. I'm like, man, I don't feel right. Like a major anxiety attack. I'm like, Greg, something's wrong with me. I think I'm having a fucking heart attack. And I could feel my pulse. I was driving going, my pulse is going like real fast. Like, and I already knew, I said, I'm fucking AFib. Like I said it to myself in my head. I'm like, I'm AFib. I'm just maybe whatever. Dude, I literally was standing there. I thought I was going to fucking die. I took my shirt off. I'm like, oh, dude, I got to leave. I'm going home. And Greg's cousin followed me, thank God, because I got in my car and started driving. I got to the stoplight.
He looked, I didn't want to scare you, but you looked like I've never seen you look before. So he was like, dude, like, I don't feel good, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, you're good. Just breathe, you know?
Have some water.
Whatever.
Breathe,
I'm like,
relax.
I'm like, yeah, go home, like, go. And he went to go get in his car. I go to my cousin. I'm like, yo. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, go follow him right fucking now. Thank God he did, because my cousin called me. He's like, bro, Paul pulled straight across the street right to the fire department. You know, he had to carry Paul into the fire department, you know.
I saw the fire truck. I was at the light. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I can't make it home. There's no way. I just pulled right in. They came right out. They were actually, Carroll Street, those guys were awesome. And they gave great IV. They popped it right in, no pain. But they gave me that drug that stopped your heart twice. Thought I was going to die. And then my heart rate's going from 92 to 170, like for 6 hours it did that. So every time it starts going, and then, you know, they gave me all these drugs. Finally, I fell asleep at like 4 o'clock and it popped out of AFib. So I've never had it happen again. Thank God. They don't know why it happens. They have no idea.
Yeah.
It could be the kidneys, because the kidneys sometimes mess with the top of your heart. Yeah. They don't know. So and a lot of people don't even realize they're in AFib. It's like an unknown thing. And then they have a stroke. That's what you're worried about, because you throw a clot. So I knew I had it. It was not fun. So it's in my family. My dad had it. My uncle had it. So let's just hope it doesn't happen again.
In conjunction of everything else going on, it was
is probably so stressed and tired. I'm so tired, and I just push. I got so much shit going on. So it's probably was like a bad. I don't know. I walked 6 miles the day before with my dogs.
Yeah.
So it was a holiday weekend.
What holiday?
That was Thanksgiving, wasn't it?
No, Memorial Day or something.
That would not have been.
No, it wasn't a year ago, dude.
Yeah. Memorial Day is March.
It was September. What holiday is September?
Labor Day.
It was Labor Day weekend.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. September. Yeah. 4 months ago.
Fuck.
It's all right. In 4 months, I'll be lifting 6 pounds at the wood gym.
Fuck yeah.
That's right.
6 pounds, baby.
I'll get you 6
6
pound
pounds.
dumbbells. I'll find
We
them.
don't have sixers, but
I'll find them.
Greg will get them.
I'll tape ones onto the fives.
I got the rubber bands I can use.
Tape the half-pound wings onto the side.
So that's it. So yeah, I'm ready to get operated on now.
Oh yeah, dude.
We're ready for you too, Paul.
We're ready. I want you to go back to being crazy fucking Paul, being yourself. And hopefully, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I know you want fucking Vita to be your last business, but I hope you have 37 more business ventures and they're all successful and that you have the energy to do so. Right now, I think your body is like, you know what, dude, I just need one business venture.
Last one and
I'm going
that's
to be
it.
Good, you know? But I think once you're feeling yourself, you're going to be your old self.
Twisted Genetics 2.
2.0.
I'm ready, dude.
2.0.
I'm ready. Pat will give us 10, you know?
I'll give you 10 and I'll help formulate. Just saying.
I wouldn't even know what to do with that anymore.
Well,
but I do need to, I think for the Vita, we do our own line for health stuff.
A health line. I agree.
For sure.
I think that'd be great. You know, give it to your
vitamin
clients.
D and all that's, you know, COQ10.
For sure.
Good
stuff
like
that everybody needs
Ubiquinol,
and everybody
D3,
takes.
K2,
you know?
and all that. Like,
so there you go. There's our supplement.
I think
right
that
there.
you should do your
Guys, come
health
in
sub
with us
line.
at-
cool.
All right, I'll give you 10.
Dude, that's.
I'll give you 11.
Son of.
I'll give you 25. Pat, you're out.
Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess.
That's the way it crumbles.
Any last words before you go? Anything else you want to shout out, Paul, before we wrap it up?
I don't think so. I think that's it. I think it's just hustle. That's all you can do is hustle and take
Hustle.
risk.
Don't be afraid to take risk.
Yeah.
Get your goddamn blood work done every 6 months.
Bingo. I was just going to say, there's
There
anything
you
you've
go.
learned, don't be afraid to take risk and get your fucking health in
It's
check.
just a little fucking needle going in. Trust me, it's way better than having the shit I've gone through.
Yep. Just the tip. That's what they say.
Yep. Word. All right, man. Thanks for
having
coming.
me, guys.
Thanks for coming. We appreciate you coming. We appreciate you taking your time. We're excited for everything that you got going on, from improving your
You guys
health
can
to
come visit
starting
me in the
your
hospital.
business.
Heck yeah, we're gonna.
We're going to visit you in the hospital, whether we do a podcast there or we do a live podcast from the grand opening. Whatever your health is allowing you to want us to do, we will be.
There we go. All right, guys.
All right, brother.
Thanks again.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.